Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Yeah, thank you, and welcome to Queens Tech Meetup 9. Yeah. Woo! I'm Jukay. I'm the founder of Coalition for Queens. We're a nonprofit working to foster the tech community here in Queens and increase economic mobility and diversity in tech, and helping make Queens a leading hub for innovation and entrepreneurship. So we're super excited about our meetup here tonight. We've got a great bunch of companies presenting. We also got Tom Lehman, one of the founders of RapGenius, here to share his thoughts with us. Please give him a round of applause also. And so we run the Queens Tech Meetup, as well as a bunch of other programs here to help support entrepreneurs and companies. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please always come to talk to us about what else we can do to help support what you're doing here in Queens. This is our 9th meetup. We started a little bit over a year ago, and we're proud that as of tonight, we have about 1,500 members in our meetup group. So we're super psyched. Hopefully we can keep growing, and you can help us keep growing the Queens Tech community. We're also thrilled that we're officially now a 501c3 nonprofit. So, yeah. This is a big milestone for our organization, that donations are now tax exempt, and we hope that this is a big step for us to keep doing more work here in Queens. Now, this summer we've been working really hard in addition to the meetups. We started this program called Access Code, where we want to not only have events here, but also give people here in Queens and elsewhere additional opportunities to gain technical skills so you can be a developer and work in tech. We had 21 great students from a wide variety of backgrounds, and our class was really reflective of Queens. Over 50% women, 40% immigrants, and we hope that the tech community that we can create here is reflective of our community here in Queens and New York. And we had 4 great apps that our students were created, 2 of which are now in the in the Apple Store, which you can check out. And we have some of the students here tonight. If you want to learn more about the program, or if you're interested in learning how to develop iOS apps in the future, please come talk to us, and we'd love to keep continuing growing this program. We're also really happy to announce that 3 of our students were also hired as full-time developers last week, including one, Eli, who's here with us tonight. Give him a round of applause. Where's Eli? Yeah. Being hired for a company by Tim Novikov called Vantageous, and he's here tonight as well. So super psyched. Yeah. We also have Michelle Fernandez, who was also hired for a developer job at another LIC tech company here called Will Now. So not only helping people gain more jobs, but helping companies here grow by gaining more tech talent. So super psyched about this. If you want to learn more, we'll send out more info on the website, and hopefully this is a program that we can continue. Next, this fall as well, because of our 501c3 status, we're organizing our first fundraiser that hopefully we want to invite all of you to celebrate what we've been doing. We're doing it at MoMA Piers 1. It's going to be a sick party there in mid-October. We're going to have a lot of Queens companies there presenting and demoing. There's going to be great food and beer and lots of fun stuff. We'll send out more info. This is a sneak peek. It's going to be awesome. And hopefully we'll see some of you guys there to come celebrate and party with us this fall. Yeah. Before we begin the formal portion of the program, if you want, check in on Foursquare, tweet out. It's a beautiful night here. We want to thank some of our sponsors that's here to make it all possible. Plaxel for providing this beautiful space and for sponsoring and supporting our organization here in Western Queens. They've been a huge supporter of other nonprofits here as well. They were originally a plastics manufacturing company, so the past of tech here in Long Island City, supporting the future here in Queens as well. We also want to thank Covington Burling. They're a major law firm here in New York, worldwide, supporting a lot of great companies and also startup entrepreneurs. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. As well as AT&T for sponsoring this specific event here tonight. And we have Anna Adams-Sarthou here to say a few words from AT&T. Please give her a warm round of applause.
Hi, everyone. My name's Anna Adams-Sarthou. I'm the regional director for New York City at AT&T. Great to be here. I'm usually not the public speaker for my company, so this is kind of exciting for me. But I want to thank Jukay for everything that he's done, and we've been really excited to partner with him over the last few months. And I also met Jukay just as Coalition for Queens was starting, so it's really exciting to see how far you've come in only a year and a half or 2 years or whatever it's been, so congratulations on that. I'm also excited to see my friend Jason Banray from Councilman Van Bramer's office. It's always good to see the councilman staff out and about at these events. But anyway, AT&T is always looking to make sure that New York City is getting as much access to technology, STEM, cell phone service, all of that as possible. And obviously Queens is becoming more and more of a hub for that kind of innovation and growth, especially with the Cornell Technion School coming to to Roosevelt Island. So this was a partnership that seemed pretty obvious for us, and it's been great. We did the Queens Tech Meetup in May, and we did a Queens Borough President Candidate Forum, which was interesting to say the least, but a good experience for all of us. And we're excited to be a part of today's event as well. So thanks so much, Jukay, and have a great time tonight.
Great, thank you, Anna, and thank you, AT&T, for supporting our community. Also want to thank Sourcepad for providing and sponsoring the beer that everyone's hopefully enjoying tonight. Give a please big shout out to Sourcepad. And Joe will speak a couple of words here.
Alrighty, thank you, Jukay. So Joe Chin, founder and CEO of Sourcepad, and I love being here at the Queens Meetup because I'm a Queens boy. And also, I'm also a longtime entrepreneur. But so Sourcepad basically builds websites and mobile applications for startups. And we like to say our apps are built by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, simply because between my co-founder and myself, we founded 4 companies, have had 2 exits, and have raised over $20 million in capital. But we started Sourcepad because we both outsourced in the past, my founder and myself, and we have just had bad experiences. Miscommunications, people dropping the ball, acting unprofessionally. So we set out to build Sourcepad as a better mousetrap. And what Sourcepad does a bit differently is we use video and agile just to ensure a high level of communication and quality of development. And we're very picky about recruiting. We recruit as per Steve Jobs' law, which is that top developers are 25 times more productive than your average developer. So we deliver the best bang for the buck, often 1/5 to 1/20th the cost of what other startups spend. And our client companies do quite well. They've won awards at TechCrunch Disrupt, Ultralight Startups. Not 1, but 3 have been featured on the Today Show, and a number have gone on to get angel and VC financing. So if you're looking to build a website or a mobile app, maybe having trouble finding a tech co-founder, please come and speak to me. And of course, as an entrepreneur, I know you all work really hard, so make sure you have 1 beer on us, at least. Alrighty, thanks.
Great, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Sourcepad. All right, next, I want to introduce Virginia from NYCEDC, who's going to be speaking about a great initiative that the city has to support tech companies here in New York. Thank you. Please give her a warm round of applause, everyone.
Thank you. I'm Virginia Maloney. I'm with the New York City Economic Development Corporation. I'll keep this quick, but we have a great program for startup companies and tech companies that are looking to access high-speed internet and are faced with high construction costs from internet service providers. Through Connect NYC, NYCEDC will cover the cost of the installation and construction fees for a dedicated fiber optic line directly to your office space. We have 5 internet service providers participating in the program, so there are 3 more ISPs than last year, if you're familiar with the first round. And there's a total of 14 million available for companies. It's a very simple application online. The requirements are that you have to be located in New York, fewer than 500 employees, and be willing to sign a 1-year contract with one of the participating providers and pay for the service fees for 1 full year. The applications are accepted on a rolling basis, and the next deadline is October 4th. So if you're interested, we encourage you to apply now. The funding will be available through December 12th. So submit your applications and spread the word. Thanks.
Great, thanks so much, Virginia. So you guys looking for high-speed internet, looking for fiber, apply through NYCEDC, free fiber. So yeah, go check it out. We'll send out more information about that. And last, I want to introduce Aaron Cohen. He's been a great volunteer and been really involved with Queens Tech Meetup and all the things that we've been doing here. And he's stepped up, taken the mantle, and is now one of the organizers, the lead organizer of Queens Tech Meetup. So we're super happy that he's gotten more involved here in helping organize this event. We're always looking for other people to help organize and do other things here as well. So if you're interested, talk to one of us, talk to Aaron. Aaron has incredible experience here in New York, working with startups, working with entrepreneurs, being an entrepreneur himself. And he's going to come up here and share a little about his background. Thank you.
Thank you, Jukay. All right, now, if you will forgive me a moment of gratuitous self-promotion, I want to get my clout score higher tonight. If 10, 15 of you follow me, I think I can break 60. I don't know. Check me out. So, yes, it's been a dream of mine for some time now to be involved in a project like Queens Tech Meetup. About a year ago, I was actually on stage with this guy right here at New York Tech Meetup, and ever since then, I couldn't get out of my head that I wanted to do something like that more regularly. So here I am today. Please allow me to take a moment to thank Jukay and Ben and Elizabeth in the back, and David Yang, of course, over there with the camera, for giving me this opportunity. And let me just tell you a little bit about myself. You might be wondering what is your connection to Queens. Because I grew up in California, and I live in Brooklyn. So I promise you, though, I'm not a carpetbagger. My family's been in New York for over 100 years. And in fact, my grandfather and great-grandfather owned a metal yard not too far from here on Van Dam Street for more than 40 years. So being able to come back to Queens and help businesses that are getting started around here is truly an honor in that regard. It also gives me an opportunity to follow in the footsteps of one of my favorite HBO characters. Right, so that's the famous Billy Walsh from Entourage, if you're not familiar. No, but seriously, I've been involved in New York Tech for over 5 years. I've been a co-founder of 2 startups and an early employee at a third. I've leveraged that experience for the benefit of 15 more companies this past summer as the program manager for Dream at New York's Summer Accelerator program. It's a particular honor for me that 3 of the companies from this last summer are demoing here tonight. I know they have great things in store, and they're here to show off what they've got for you. But first, we have a special guest. He is the co-founder of a startup, although I'm not really sure you can call it a startup anymore because they just raised $15 million, and the chief operating officer of none other than Facebook has joined their board of directors. So if you'll take another moment to welcome Tom Lehman, co-founder and CTO? No? Co-founder, whatever, of rapgenius. He will be happy to tell you all about his funding adventures over the past year. Take it away, Tom.
Woo! Thank you, Aaron. So, Tom Lehman, co-founder of rapgenius, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how to fundraise and how to believe in yourself and the relationship between those 2 skills. So, setting the stage. The story begins, it's August 25th, 2011, and that was 3 days after our Y Combinator demo day, and 115 days after May 2nd, 2011, which was the day we got into Y Combinator and Osama died. And so we have me and Alon, my co-founder, and we're sitting at the San Francisco Four Seasons Hotel, and we're about to start our first meeting with a real, actual investor. And the setup is perfect. It's this baller-ass Russian dude, and he's got this stubble, like perfect level of stubble, like kind of like this, and the supplest diesel jeans, like so soft, and suede loafers, no socks whatsoever. And, we're talking to this guy, and, we're talking about a bunch of different stuff, a little bit about Rap Genius, but mostly about, what his girlfriend's model friend told him about Williamsburg, and, what it was like to paddleboard with this famous producer he just went paddleboarding with, and how much this one particular sculpture appreciated. And so we're talking, and finally he asks us, so, what valuation are you guys raising at? And we have no idea what to say. So, we had talked about it before. We knew we wanted to raise at a high valuation. That's good, right? Yeah. And we kind of knew a little bit about what other Y Combinator companies had done, but not really. We had gotten the previous advice to try to get the VC to name a number first. And so, we're kind of thinking, is it too late to do that right now? He just asked us, can we still pull that off? And so, what do you do in that situation? Well, if you're anything like me, the first thing you do is think back and visualize in your head your Techstars rejection email. And then you kind of relive that experience, and then you visualize your Y Combinator rejection email. And then after that, you think about the email Fred Wilson sent you in response to your cold email to him 6 months earlier, and you think to yourself, was that a rejection email too? It just sounded like he had a couple of objections, but he was maybe convincible. It was definitely a rejection email also. So you think about all these rejections, and then you think about your whole pre-Y Combinator existence, which was, Rap Genius was this side project that I thought was cool, my friends thought was cool, but no one cared about, and definitely no one thought it could be a business. And so, that was the whole pre-Y Combinator existence, but then here we are, sitting at the Four Seasons, and on that day, we were one of the fastest growing startups in Y Combinator's latest batch, which meant we had a pretty solid claim at being one of the hottest startups in the entire world. And so it was weird because to my eyes, very little had changed. Since we had gotten into Y Combinator, the product had grown, the traffic had grown, but it was still basically the same website. The traffic graph had the same shape, and in fact, we could have given our whole demo day presentation before Y Combinator even started. Very little had changed during Y Combinator. And so, what is going on? What is different? What makes us so hot right now, sitting in the Four Seasons, and totally off anyone's radar 3 months earlier? And so, of course, the answer is there's no underlying reality. There's no startup textbook where you get the teacher's edition, and then you open the teacher's edition, and it says, okay, here's how much Rap Genius is worth, and here's a list of the other hot startups, and here's what their actual valuations are. It doesn't exist. Or, maybe it does exist, and the teacher's edition is getting into Y Combinator, but once you get it and you open it up, all the pages are blank. There's just nothing in it, no guidance. So, that's why when you're sitting there and the guy is asking you what valuation you're raising at, what you have to do is project confidence and energy and excitement and just say the biggest number you can think of without cracking up and losing it. And so, $17 million, that was the answer. And so, that's what we said. So that's lesson one of fundraising, which is you have to project confidence. It's way more important than the actual fundamental quality of your product, because if it was just about the quality of the Rap Genius website, we would have been at the San Francisco Four Seasons 6 months before we were. So project confidence. But it's not enough to just project confidence. You actually have to be confident. Because if you're not confident, if you don't believe when things start to get really dark and it looks like everything's fucked, you're going to convince yourself that it's all over and you're done. So you have to actually be confident. So, an illustration of that occurred about 3 weeks after the Four Seasons. So we had raised about $500,000, and we were trying to raise $1.5 million, and that's what we've been telling everyone we were going to raise. So, we'd hit a sort of string of no's. We had gotten a little discouraged, so we went to office hours with Paul Graham at Y Combinator to talk to him and get some encouragement. And we showed up a little bit early, so we got to overhear a little bit of the conversation Paul Graham was having with a previous founder who'd went in for the earlier office hours slot. And this founder was talking to Paul Graham and asking him for a brand of fundraising advice that was very foreign to me at the time. And here's kind of how that conversation went. So the founder was saying something like, so, PG, is there anything we could be doing better right now, or are we doing perfectly? And Paul Graham was like, you know, yeah, you guys are basically doing perfectly. You're pretty much done fundraising, and everything's going great. And the founder was like, okay, well, is there anything we can do to thank Ron Conway for hooking us up with so many investors? And PG was like, no, I mean, you've thanked him perfectly. You've done an amazing job thanking him, and you're done thanking him. And so, you know, this is how the conversation went. And our spirits sank lower and lower. And finally, it was our turn to talk to Paul Graham for our office hours slot. So he went up to Paul Graham, and we showed him our fundraising spreadsheet. And this is what we were using to plan out fundraising. And here's what the spreadsheet looked like. There was a row on the spreadsheet for every investor that we knew who had not yet said no. So we had a bunch of rows, and then there was a column for the probability that investor would invest, and then another column for how much that investor would likely invest if he invested. So the problem was that even if every investor invested the maximum plausible amount, we were still $500,000 short. So we took this spreadsheet, and we showed it to Paul Graham, and we're trying to get some advice, some encouragement. And Paul Graham takes one look at the spreadsheet, and he goes, wow, you guys are totally fucked. There's no way, you're fucked. There's no way you're going to be able to raise $1.5 million if these are your only leads. You've got to go back and lower your valuation with your existing investors and try to drum up some new interest. And we're just thinking, oh, my God. So, another pop quiz. Paul Graham, your idol, has just told you you fucked everything up. So what do you do? And this one is a little bit easier. The answer, if you're me and Alon, is that you drive straight from the Y Combinator office to the Menlo Park Quiznos, and you order a giant chicken, like bready, saucy sub, and you eat it in total silence with Alon, with the silence only broken by the sound of your giant Diet Coke fizzing, and you're miserable, and you're depressed, and you're sitting there. And that's what we did, but of course, everything ended up totally fine, somehow. I still don't totally know. Somehow it ended up totally fine. We ended up raising more than we intended to raise, $1.8 million, and, very competitive round, and now investors who declined to invest in us then are kind of like coming up to me and saying, why didn't you let us invest? We wanted to invest so badly. And it's like, ha ha, guys. So, but the point is you have to believe, because things are going to get very, very dark, and if you don't believe that good, unanticipated things are going to happen, then you're just going to give up. And so, that's fundraising for the seed round. The Series A is even more difficult, because in the seed round, you're looking for a bunch of people to invest a couple $100,000 and bet on you a little bit in terms of reputation and time. In your Series A, you're looking for one person to bet on you to the tune of millions of dollars and his entire reputation. And so the dynamics are a little bit different in the Series A. You can't just go to an investor meeting investor for the first time, drink an iced soy latte and start saying big numbers to the person. He's just going to get weirded out. This is what, we learned this the hard way. We would meet an investor and say $15 million, and he'd be like, what the fuck? How can you justify that amount of money? You spend the whole conversation talking about that versus the how cool your website is. So, if you're trying to raise a bigger round of money, you have to have the confidence that you had when you were raising your seed round, but you've got to take it a little slow. You've got to form a relationship, got to let the person fall in love, get them to contribute to your website, sign up. It takes a really long time, but there's still the fundamental similarity, because then, at the last second, when you're in the partner meeting, you get to look the person who invented the web browser in the eyes and, again, say the biggest number you can without cracking up and losing it. And so that is how you raise money. Any questions? Woo! What's up? What on? Anyone? Anything? Say it. Say it. Say it.
Give us an idea of how long it took to raise that 1.5.
We ended up raising 1.8. We started to raise 1.5. Okay, so how long did it take to raise money? Yeah, so how long did it take to raise the seed round? It took a long time. So, the myth of raising money, and particularly the myth of being in Y Combinator, is that, you do this demo day thing, and then the investors show up, and they've got a signed note or whatever, and you just close the deal right then, and that's very far from the truth. It took us about 2 or 3 months to raise the 1.8 million, and that was like, you know, it was a seed round, so it was kind of a rolling thing. So like probably raised about 1.5 in about 3 months, and then over the course of like the next year, up into the Series A, we raised like a little bit more, and ended up by the Series A around like 2 million or whatever. But it took a while, and the Series A, start to finish, you know, from when we first met Ben to when we closed the deal, probably was like 8 months. 8 months of like, it didn't feel like fundraising until the end, but it was 8 months of socializing and talking and making connections and so forth. So it takes a long time. How did I meet my co-founder? So my two co-founders, Alon Zakori, Mahmoud Mogadam, shout out to both of them. Got a lot of love for them. I met them when we were in college, and you know, I think that's a very important thing. Not necessarily meeting them in college, but you have to be very close friends with your co-founders and the people who join your company early on, because you know, shit's gonna get gnarly. Like, you know, you're gonna be screaming and crying and hugging and screaming and crying, and so, you know, you have to have some skin in the game, friendship-wise, to like keep going when stuff gets really bad. So I think it's really important to work with friends. You know, my two co-founders are my close friends from college, and you know, a handful of other people at rapgenius are friends from before we started, and it's just very rewarding and also very necessary when times get tough.
What rap lyrics are most relevant to your experience as an entrepreneur?
Woo! What rap lyrics are most relevant to my experience as an entrepreneur? Well, Gucci Mane has this line where he says something like, 40 on the bracelet, back to the basics, mill full of ice in these player haters' faces. Mill full of ice, Gucci Mane, good gracious. Got a sick flow and I think it's contagious. And he's really talking about just shoving your ice in haters' faces and ignoring them. And that is a very powerful message of Gucci Mane. And you guys should keep that in mind, because, you know, by definition, everyone's a hater. Like, everyone is going, oh, cool website. But what that person's really thinking is, you know, this isn't going anywhere, this site sucks. And so, you know, to overcome that, you've got to have a lot of confidence, and that's why it's important to listen to Gucci. In the back. Yep.
Last question.
So I'm very curious, what are the key metrics that help you
what are the key metrics? So what are the key metrics that helped raise money? So part of the sort of, you know, there is no teacher's edition, is that there's no like standard metric or standard thing. Like, you have to come up with a story, and you have to invent what metrics you think are important and project that onto the story that you're telling about how you're going to be big, and then make investors think those are important. So it's more about telling an overarching story. But that said, you also need a graph that goes like this kind of thing. And so, you know, it's good to pick a metric that looks like a graph that's like exponential or whatever. So for us, it was unique visitors, and you know, I think you've got to pick the thing that's right for your particular startup. One last question. One more. Other in the back.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so to shorten the question, I guess, like, are these investors, when they're looking at you and trying to decide whether to invest in your company, are they basically just looking to see if you're confident? Like, are they not looking at other metrics? That would be consistent with things that I've read, like on blogs and places. I mean, and how can you tell maybe which of the investors maybe are just looking to see if you're confident, and which of them maybe have more of an ear to the ground, like on the startup scene? And
yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't say investors are just, they're not thinking like, okay, is this person confident? But that's what's actually going on under the covers, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Like, look, you have to have a good website or a good app or whatever. Like, that gets you in the door. Like, it is just, if you don't have traction, if you don't have some people using your thing, then you're just going to be an easy no for any investor. So the number one thing is get traction, and that's a very hard thing to do. But traction doesn't mean that you need like a ton of users or a ton of money. It just means you need to be doing something that people, you know, whose uterus you weren't in or using or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just need to use it. And so traction is very important. But post-traction, if you can get in the door and not be an easy no, then, you know, the investor is going to be very sensitive to who you are as a person, how passionate you seem, and whether you're going to convince other people to join your company, whether you're going to be able to convince other people to invest in your company. So, you know, it's just very, very important. And if you look at, like, it's also surprising to me if you watch, like, Y Combinator demo day presentations, especially the practice rounds, which we were exposed to, like, being in the thing. It's like there are a lot of people who are passionate about their companies, but they get up and they start to present, and then it's like, okay, are you excited to tell me this stuff? Like, this is what you're going to spend 5 years of your life doing or whatever. You're going to try to change the world, but are you excited? Are you psyched up? And, you know, some people just don't feel that way. And so that's just like, you know, if you're not excited as the founder of this company, how are you going to, like, light a fire, light the world on fire with this thing? So that's also what's going on, too. So get excited, guys. Get the energy up, you know? One more question. Are we done? One more question. We're done. We're done. We're done. Thank you, guys. We're hiring jobs at rapgenius. Hit me up. Show me love. I love you all.
Thank you very much, Tom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to segue into the demo portion of our event. Our first demo is KeyMe, a Queens native. Wait one second. If you have been to Queens Tech Meetup before, you've probably seen us do only 2 or 3 demos. Tonight we're going to do 6. They're going to be shorter. We're going to condense questions into 2 blocks. And I hope that you will all be amazed. So now, here's Greg and here's Chris from KeyMe. And they're going to tell you what that is.
Hey guys, how you doing? So our name is very literal. We would like to talk to you guys about keys. So each of you probably has a couple keys in your pocket right now, and they probably work. Yeah, they probably work pretty well, except for one excruciating pain point, which is when you get locked out. And when that happens, what do? You call a locksmith. Guy takes an hour to show up. We'll typically charge you about $150 to essentially break your lock. So we think that's a pretty inefficient process, and we've come up with some very cool tech to really revolutionize the way that people make and manage their keys. So Chris will walk you through the tech.
So not only do lockouts suck, but the whole industry is really boring. So you just have these little pieces of metal that you get in your door, and if you need a new one, you just go get a copy. So what we're doing is we're taking robotics and we're applying it to an old, antiquated market. And the way we're doing that is, well, we've got robots. They don't really look like robots, but you can sort of see one here. It's a big box. It's yellow and gray. And the robot's inside, and the robot can only do one thing, and that's make keys. But it's still pretty cool because you can scan your keys, the robot can look at it, and remember what it looks like. And then if you ever lose your keys or get locked out, it knows how to make a new one for you. So you just go down to the robot, scan your finger. It's like, hey, I know you. Here's your key. We also have a mobile app, which Greg's got on his phone there that we're going to show you, that does basically the same thing. Scan your keys, get them in the cloud, and then you can get copies whenever you want.
So we've got sort of a intricate live demo, so I'm hoping it's going to go well here. But Joey, who is on video here, is Chris's roommate, and he is currently locked out. So what we're going to do is Chris is going to scan his house key using our free mobile app. This is live. This is a real deal. Let me log. That is about 2 blocks that way. So Chris is logging in here. And so essentially what we do is we walk you through taking a picture of your key. And the concept behind this is very simple. We're sort of letting you save a digital copy of your key. The tech behind it is actually extremely complex. So Chris and Christoph, who's in the green shirt right there, have created some very sophisticated computer vision and machine learning algorithms which analyze that image of your key and make geometrical classifications about it. So Chris is going to do the image capture process right now. Oh, he scans the first side. It's going to prompt him to flip it over. Scan the second side. And that is it. From those 2 images, we can ascertain all the info about your key that we need to replicate it. And it is completely free to scan and save as many keys as you like. Chris is going to name this key right now, Queens Tech Meetup. And there it is. It'll take about a minute to analyze. In the meantime, I believe we already scanned, or did we? All right. So Chris is going to share that key with Christoph, a digital copy of it. Or sorry, with Joey, who is currently at our office. There he is. All right. So Joey has that shared digital key. He just received it. And now he's going to make it at the kiosk. We currently have 5 kiosks deployed in Manhattan in 7-Elevens. You log in with your fingerprint, and you can access your digital keychain. And instead of paying a couple $100 for locksmith, you can fabricate a physical copy of your key in about 30 seconds. So an extremely fast and cheap way to solve your lockouts. If you just want a regular copy of your key, you can insert it into the front of the machine, and it will, again, create your key in about 30 seconds. Just a super fast, cheap way to copy your keys. The mobile app also does some other cool stuff. So if you're locked out and you're not near one of our kiosks, you can walk into a regular mom-and-pop locksmith and pull up instructions, which enable that locksmith to make your keys from scratch. And then if you want just regular copies of your key, you can mail order them. We'll cut them for you and ship them off to you. But it looks like our demo is still on. All right, we'll see if this works. All right. Death by live demo. We'll see. All right, so it's prompting him for his fingerprint right there. That's his digital keychain, and he's going to make his key. And so the robot will actually physically cut that key for him and drop it off. But that's it. Any questions? It is completely free to download the app. Scanning and storing as many keys as you like is also completely free. And we view that as like free lockout insurance. If you ever get locked out, there's all these very convenient ways to actually get physical copies. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. All right, while our next demo gets its computer and its phone plugged in, what can I say? Oh, Greg forgot to mention that he has kiosks in 5 7-Elevens hidden around New York City right now. That's still true, right? Okay, great. So you can actually go conveniently get a key made throughout Manhattan right now, should you be locked out somewhere. How much is it? We'll get to questions later. Up next, we have our first team from the Dream It Summer Accelerator in New York. This is Miner, and presenting is going to be Keith Fiore with Oscar Torres driving.
Come on, CTO. Let's fit right. Hey, everybody. I'm Keith. I'm the CEO of Miner. We activate a virtual storefront on your phone based on your physical location. What's in that mobile storefront updates automatically as you move from place to place in the physical world. We're not about nearby or around me. We're about here. We answer the question, what's here for me in real time when you arrive at businesses, venues, and events. And since we just happen to be at a live event tonight, I'm going to stop talking, and we're not going to show you any slides. We're just going to hop right into a live demo. There is no virtual storefront here tonight, yet we're a business that has an inherent interest in communicating with you. So we're going to go ahead, and we actually have some T-shirts that we'd love to, limited number that we'd love to hand out to some early adopters. And so we're going to go ahead and create a virtual storefront and offer the T-shirts to the crowd right now. So this is our website. I'm actually now functioning as a business. So I'm just going to go ahead and log into the Miner dashboard. And we make it dead simple to create and deliver a wide variety of mobile content to any physical location or event for the people that are physically present there. So in this case, I talked a lot about, I mentioned that we're going to be doing this T-shirt promotion. So we can sell to you. We're a full-on location-based commerce platform. But in this case, we're going to do a giveaway. So I would go ahead and click there. In this case, just to save time, we actually pre-populated this particular piece of content that we want to deliver to this event. As you can see, Miner makes it really, really simple. We give you a template showing you what information is required to create your content. You can watch it being built in real time in our simulator. In this case, since we're here and we have the t-shirts here, we're going to redeem them at this location. We could also send you online to redeem this particular giveaway. We're giving away 10 tonight. Target demographics don't matter. So that's the content. We created a piece of content that we're going to literally drop right on this location. So we need the location. If I go to locations in my browser, these are my locations currently saved to Miner. It just so happens that I don't have this location set, but that's not a problem. Miner makes it really, really easy to find any physical location in the world and add it with just a couple clicks. You simply come to Add Location. I'm actually just going to jump. Hold this, Oscar, one second. So we're at 4740, 21st Street, Queens. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that location to my account. So once you have content created and saved in Miner and your location saved in Miner, sending it out to the physical world is a complete snap. We call it a package. And basically, I would come here and hit create, but again, to save time, you simply name your package. So we called it QTM. These are all the items that we dropped into the package. So basically, here's the t-shirt that we just created together, and I've preset some other items prior to the event just to make the storefront a little bit more robust and a little more fun. Now we need locations. So I'm just going to go drop that location we just added. And the minute I hit done, I could set time controls, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit done. And the second I hit done, that storefront is now live here at this location. Now, what's that? Yeah, switch it in, please. 1 minute, really? Oh, I didn't know we were on time tonight. I thought this was Queen's Tech Meetup. I thought we were laid back. Ah. Okay, so basically, let's just go ahead and hold this now, Oscar. Anybody here with a smartphone, you've never heard of Miner before, you could simply just go to minerapp.com in the browser of your smartphone, and in an instant, it's going to go ahead. This is live. I'm still on the internet. There it is. There's the t-shirt offer that we just created together. But this is a meetup, so let's go ahead and show our native app. Again, it's going to pull down. This is our native app in iOS. It's going to pull down that storefront. Boom. You'll see here, guys, if you want to get the t-shirt, you can get it. We included information on all the demoing companies tonight. So, Aaron, you don't need to print those things anymore. You should be using Miner here. We also got our hands on this really rare figurine. It's got a broken hand. We used crazy glue on it earlier tonight. But you could actually just put your cell phone number in there and enter to win. We'll pick a winner before the night's over. And worth mentioning, just to make a point, we sold Google Chromecast on the stage in New York Tech Meetup. We were sold out by the time we got off stage. Tonight we didn't have any more Chromecast, so we just had a really cool pair of headphones laying around, sealed in the box, and we're selling them for only $5, just to drive home the point that you could pop up a storefront and sell to an audience right on the spot. Aaron, I just need 10 more seconds. The platform, and this is why you guys should get the app today, also includes a really fun way to engage people before or after they come to an event. And it's simply something we call Treasure. And Treasure is a digital voucher for a real prize or freebie hidden in the physical world. Simply hit this big icon at the top, and we're going to show you a map to where the nearest treasure is. What is it? You have to physically get to the location to find out, and then you can claim it. We're also currently running some really cool contests, giving away tickets to see Timberlake, Pearl Jam, soon to be Jay-Z. It's kind of like McDonald's Monopoly for the real world. You've got to collect a whole bunch of different pieces, and then you win. And that's it. So it's Miner. You can find us in the store, the Google Play Store. Better off searching for Miner Labs, and we'll be the first result. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Keith. All right, where is Brooke Sugarman? Brooke Sugarman is somewhere in this room. There she is. All right. Up next, we have Brooke Sugarman from Falcon Expenses, right? Someone called you Falcon Express earlier today, and I had to correct them, but now I've been saying Falcon Express all day long. Hopefully you won't, all of you. You want to go straight to the demo, or you want your slide up? Slide? Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brooke Sugarman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Falcon Expenses. Here. So Falcon, how many of you, when you get back from a business trip, have a wallet that looks like this? Don't be afraid to raise your hand. All right, that's what I thought. So Falcon Expenses is here to help. So what we have created is a fully mobile solution for expense reporting and invoicing. And with your mobile phone, you can scan receipts, track mileage, or log time. And I'm just going to give you a little demo of the scanning the receipt feature. And with this feature, we will enter the merchant name, date, and amount. I have a receipt. Hold on. Those are my shoes. You can see here the receipt image, the amount, and the merchant name has been typed for you. Also, with Falcon Expenses, it's very easy, all from your mobile phone. You can sort and filter expenses by type, such as mileage. You can quickly add it to a report. You can organize it by client or project, all with one tap. And submit reports from your phone. So we type the merchant name, date, and amount for you over the receipt data. That's what I just demoed. I don't know if any of you saw that. It was pretty quick. So I mean, that's it. It's just a simple, fully mobile solution for expense reporting that allows you to tag and filter expenses on the mobile phone. We can also track mileage with your GPS. We know where you're located. You just hit start and stop. We can do it with your addresses. Enter start and end location. We'll calculate the distance traveled, not the distance between points A and B. We'll do it along the path. And we can also log time. Just hit start and stop and save all your expenses and very quickly add them to a report. You don't ever have to go to the web. And you can submit it and review it all from your mobile phone. I think that's it. Pretty quick.
All right. Thank you so much, Brooke. Those short demos are usually the best ones, and they oftentimes have the products that are the most magical because they just work, and you don't really have to show much more than that first magic step. So now we're going to do our first question time. Brooke, if you want to come back up here. Brooke, and Keith, if you'd like to come back up here as well. And Greg, indeed. We've got all three of you lined up right here. We're going to take questions. Who has a question for KeyMe? We're going to start with KeyMe. Question for KeyMe right here. Oh, I forgot. I want to say one thing here. We would like to avoid business model questions as much as possible. New York Tech Meetup is famous for its no biz model question rule. I don't want to necessarily follow that as strictly as possible, but let's start with product questions. Let's start with questions about what you want to see done. What about over here in the blue? Yeah. Question is, when are you expanding uptown?
So we currently have a kiosk at 84th in New York that is the most uptown kiosk, and then the other 5 are dispersed a little bit lower. So one at 26th and 5th, 14th and 6th, 3rd and Bowery, and 28th and 8th. So kind of sprinkled around. So hopefully there's one by you.
How about a question for Minor? Question for Minor? Anybody? No questions for Minor? Ooh. Oh, in the back in the red. Who would be a Minor customer?
Yeah, I mean, out of the gate, our plan is really to target and work with some large strategic clients. So, like, for instance, and this was actually from our normal presentation that we do, we use an example of Nike. And we give the example that they want to activate around their apparel deal with the NFL to connect with football fans in a whole new way in the physical world through mobile devices. And then we show how easy they could do that at all the different stadiums, and then leverage the existing customer, fan, follower bases that they've built up and spent so much time and energy building, and now how we could just be this bridge to engage them, sell to them, market to them, drive them to a store, a website, whatever they need to do out in the physical world. And that's just football. You know, you think of a brand like Nike. I mean, they have stores in malls. They sponsor the U.S. Open of surfing. Obviously, wherever Tiger Woods happens to be could be of interest, and definitely basketball. And so we make it dead simple to create, just this really wide variety of content and be able to deliver it out into the physical world at precisely the right place and time. And so that's who's going to pay us.
Thank you, Keith. I want to say, any questions for Falcon expenses? Falcon expenses? Dion in the back. So the question is, what kind of expense system integrations do you have right now?
That's a great question. So we'd be integrating with the accounting software, such as QuickBooks and Xero Accounting, as well as you can export it to a CSV, which can then be imported into most systems through a type of or hot folder and a manual mapping of the fields.
Another very precise answer. I think we have a question right here in the blue. So what are the restrictions on your current key cutting technology?
So I'm looking at Christoph right now, the guy who designed all the mobile scanning technology right there. So there's thousands of keys out there. We currently in the mobile app can do a little over 90% of the market. So we're working very hard to sort of add new key types every day. Where it starts to get tricky is when you start to get keys. Most keys, the way they work is you go into a lock and some pins kind of sit on the teeth. And as long as those pins are at the right height, you can turn the cylinder. But you get more sophisticated keys where there's angles, dimples, electronics. So we have those on our radar, and we've got some sort of exciting stuff in the pipeline to be able to think about those more advanced keys. But currently we're focused on sort of getting into your home. So we're doing most of the kind of home, office, and padlock keys, and then some high security keys we're starting to get into.
That's a good question. So if you don't have cell service or Wi-Fi, I don't believe your phone can connect to the GPS, so you would not be able to track mileage in those situations. You need some means to have a GPS connection. Yeah.
All right, let's hear it for our first three demos. You'll get around next time. All right, Daniel Daks is up next with a demo from TradeUp. Daniel Daks is going to tell you all about the latest and greatest adaptive e-learning platform. Let me get your slide.
So TradeUp is a skills assessment and adaptive learning e-platform for job seekers to prepare for their jobs of choice. Fundamentally, TradeUp tries to answer the question, what do I need to know to get a job, as comprehensively as possible. So I'm going to show you a little video that will explain the product steps. Yeah, the video. It's a great video, don't worry, it's worth it. Sound is good too. The sound is even better than the video.
Meet Tom. Tom's tired of applying to job after job to no avail. How is he supposed to get 3 to 5 years of experience if every job requires 3 to 5 years of experience? He just can't seem to stand out from the crowd. And he's definitely not alone. over 50% of college graduates struggle to find full-time position. That is, until Tom found TradeUp. TradeUp assesses Tom in terms of his marketable skills, eventually matching those skills to the job landscape. The insights Tom receives from this SAT of skills are then used to pair him with potential employers. Now Tom is ready to enter TradeUp's adaptive learning environment, providing him with the shortest, quickest, and most effective path out of the crowd and into his dream job. Best of all though, the tables are turned. Tom now has employers coming to him instead of fruitlessly reaching out to them. Join Tom in receiving free, curated education paired to your specific skills, and find your way out of the crowd and into your dream job today.
I made it myself. So today, TradeUp, our platform currently supports 6 different career paths, and we're focusing on technology-enhanced jobs that are in the mid-skill range. So you can, yeah. So these are our 6 different career paths, and you can advance again. So I want to show you, yeah, that would be helpful. So how we went about solving this problem of what do I need to know to get a specific job is we first parsed out very specific job roles and then attached all the different skills associated to those jobs. What we did next is then aggregated the free online educational content to teach those specific skills. But the way that the platform is really unique is we tailored that content specifically to the learner's skill level by creating dynamic assessments in which no 2 people take the same tests. So let me show you what our platform looks like to train for a digital marketing position. So we first analyzed that there are about 100 different specific skills associated with that job title. We will take you through a dynamic test that's close to the GRE in the sense that it will start with preliminary questions and accelerate to more difficult ones if you show base proficiency. So we'll quiz you on things like Google Analytics. And what you end up with after you take this test is a really in-depth analysis of your specific skills as to how prepared you are for that career. So we show you at a high level how prepared you are, and then specifically those skills and sub-skills that you specifically need to brush up on. We then go into a database of over 90,000 free educational resources to provide you a very specific curriculum to brush up on those skills that you lack. So after you learn through that specific curriculum and you retest so we now know your specific skill level, we can then update your dashboard and re-delve into our database of over 90,000 courses and provide you with an updated virtual bookcase of what you need to learn to get a job. Best of all, this dashboard allows you not only to understand what you don't know and what you need to know to get a job, but it gives you the ability to articulate to employers how prepared you are for the careers that they're looking for, and gives you a real way to communicate whether or not they should hire you now or if they should train you specifically on what you need to know. So that's TradeUp.
Thank you very much, Daniel. All right, we've got 2 more demos. Up next is Justin from Vidaao. Everyone say hi to Justin while I get his browser window open. You want to draw? Oh, okay, certainly. You want? Okay, great. All the better for me. Here you go, Justin. Introduce yourself.
I just want to set the stage before I show you the product. All right, cool. My name is Justin Park. I'm the founder at Vidaao. So we help enterprise marketing teams find cost-effective filmmakers and also help them manage those projects during production. So we've raised over $500,000 so far. Canrock Ventures is one of our investors. Vincent Tang actually is here. Vincent, do you want to maybe stand up or wave your hand? So if there are any startups out here looking for funding, definitely reach out to Vin. The most important thing is here's my email, and the website. So I'd rather you just write that down right now than even listen to what I have to say. So let's just maybe jump into the actual demo. So again, it's talent acquisition plus project management for the enterprise marketing team. Okay, cool. So in the first tab, yeah, actually, there's the first tab. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to view samples here. We have over 500 premium creatives all over the U.S., Asia, Europe. So basically, they've uploaded video samples and have tagged them by video type and price and location. So you can easily find samples that are relevant to your vision. So let's say you needed, let's just click one, a testimonial video. You have the sample, you have the estimated cost, and you have it, and where the videographer is located. So there's a whole database around just the samples. So that's one way you can find people. And then in the second tab, this is an example of a profile. So these are built to give you all the information you need to make a very confident and quick buying decision. So you have portfolio, reviews, equipment, background for everybody. And so this is sort of the first part again, talent acquisition. And then once projects start, we have a number of tools. This is just one of them, just to give you a flavor. Post-production is cumbersome at the enterprise level because you have multiple stakeholders that need to sign off on rough cuts. So you have legal, compliance, regulatory, marketing teams themselves. They all need to make comments on rough cuts, which really delays delivery of video. So this is just one tool in post-production that helps mitigate that. So it's making comments by time. So at any time you can just pause and make a comment, and you have it by time. So you can just write some stuff and then make a comment, and then it runs to the left here. So other team members can come in and actually look at your comments and reply to them. And this is currently done just through email, Google Docs, things like that. So do we have more time in the demo? Okay. Maybe we should just go to the new dashboard. So yeah, basically I'm the marketer at, let's say, Carnegie Hall. I'm not going to call my agency of record to make the video. I'm going to log in myself, and I'm going to initiate projects by myself. So we have full videos, shoot only, edit only. You have creative briefs that are customized for each type of video, basically a set of questions to help you get your vision straight. And then the next step, people in the network are going to bid on that project, and then you flow into the project management thing. So you can think of us like a Contently for video in many ways. The word on the street is they're going to start doing video. But yeah, that's what we're here to do.
Thank you very much, Justin. Very cool stuff. This is going to be a huge industry right now. More searches right now are done on YouTube than on Google. It's true. Look it up. All right, we've got one demo left for you tonight. Ben Lamson from WeDidIt. He's going to tell you about the coolest new way to raise money for your favorite nonprofits and charities.
Yes. Get me set up. Right to go next? Yes. Yes. Full house tonight. All right. Guys, I'm Ben. I'm one of the co-founders of WeDidIt. We're a next-generation fundraising platform for nonprofits. We're really trying to address the fact that $44 billion was spent on nonprofit fundraising last year, but the problem is it's really inefficient, right? A lot of people are still using direct mail campaigns. There is a nonprofit in Southern California. Last year, they raised $22 million in direct mail, but they spent $18.2 million. So only 18 cents on every dollar went to a donation. In-person fundraising, also really antiquated. People are using pledge sheets, pledge forms. They look something like this. They're a bit of a nightmare to fill out. They're even more of a nightmare to enter into your CRM. Online giving, by far the most efficient form of fundraising. But if you're a marketer, it's also a bit of a nightmare to track your efforts. You look like this guy because you're working over like 5 platforms. And your desktop looks something like this, right? So nonprofits, they're wasting time and money, and that's why we've developed this next generation fundraising platform to really cover every aspect of digital fundraising. The first being a really simple and slick donation button for your website. But when it's time to reach a larger audience and engage your donor base and allow them to fundraise from their friends and family members, you can white label crowdfunding technology. Now, we have not reinvented the wheel here, but where things get actually interesting and exciting is when we look at addressing in-person fundraising. We've actually not using pledge sheets anymore, but instead a mobile app that is designed to empower both your staff members as well as your casual supporters. So you may say to yourself, Ben, why can't they use Square? Square is awesome for commerce. It sucks for nonprofit fundraising. It doesn't capture donor data. It does not link to your CRM, and it does not link to online fundraising pages. The other big issue, there we go. The other big issue is you really can only put it in the hands of a couple select staff members. But our technology, as you'll see in this next step, does not require any external hardware. We actually use the camera on the phone to scan the credit card. So we can put this in the hands of staff members as well as casual supporters. And your casual supporters are the fastest way to acquire new donors for a nonprofit. Now, when actually looking at analyzing your marketing efforts, it's really time-consuming and really tough now. But we've developed a dashboard that allows our nonprofits to track their efforts on Facebook, Twitter, and email and actually get really granular. So they can apply filters and they can understand not just how much traffic is coming from Facebook, but really drill down to a single post. And you can see which posts are driving donations through your platform. The idea that you now have actionable insights. You can now understand what content is exciting your donor base. This is one of the nonprofits that you saw in the white labeled solution. They recently just used our product and raised $50,000 in 30 days. This is just a handful of some of the nonprofits we're working with. We also announced, we just came out of Dream It, that's how we know Aaron. We also just announced one of our newest clients is Amnesty International. They're actually using our mobile app to empower their street fundraisers. So they realized that this whole pledge sheet, pledge form thing is really inefficient, and they're coming into the new age and using our mobile app to empower both their street fundraisers as well as their casual supporters. Now, I'm sorry I couldn't live demo, but we're using financial stuff here, and it's sensitive information. So if you want to see a demo, you can start by making a donation tonight to the Dick and Jane Project. The Dick and Jane Project is a nonprofit based in Columbus. They partner professional musicians with middle school students. They actually write songs together. To date, they've worked with 250 students, and they've actually published 40 songs that have been played on the radio. So we're raising money for the Dick and Jane Project tonight. If you want to see the app in action, come find myself or this man right here, Susani, standing up. And Mark Shreve, where are you? Mark Shreve, come find him. He's got a mobile app with him. We would love to take your money. Come find us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ben. All right. Now we're going to go into our last question section before we go into a little bit of mingle time. So actually, Ben, get up here. Ben, get back up here. Ben, get back up here. Daniel, back up here, please. And where? Yep, there's Justin. All right. So same drill as last time. Who's got a question for Daniel Daks about TradeUp, adaptive e-learning? Questions for Daniel? No? No questions for Daniel? Oh, come on. One question for Daniel. Chris, right here.
So where's all your learning content coming from? Are you generating any of that, or is it just how it's available?
The question is, where is the content coming from?
Yeah, so we are not a content provider at all. We aggregate on top of both third-party providers and a lot of the MOOC platforms, so Coursera, edX, YouTube, University, as well as Google webinars, teaching Google Analytics, etc.
All right, how about Vidaao? Question for Vidaao? Jolly.
I've got two questions. One is will there some process of people giving testimonials and references? And two, what about webcasting?
Okay, so the questions are, do you have a testimonial and reference feature, and what about webcasting?
Yeah, references for the creatives. On your profile, you can ask past clients to write reviews for you. It's like a standard star whatever thing. You know that thing, like 4 stars, 5 stars. And then webcasts. So you might have noticed we have separate workflows for shoot only, edit only, full videos. Webcast is going to be added to that because we're just leveraging the talent of our network. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, how about a question for WeDidIt? Any questions for WeDidIt right here?
You found that people are comfortable taking pictures of their credit cards on the street?
Yes.
Wait. The question is, are people comfortable with strangers taking photos of their credit cards on the street?
That is a fantastic question. So we actually did not invent that credit card scanning technology. If we did, our valuation would be much higher than it is. We work with Card.io, which was bought by PayPal. And for us, it's about educating our clients so they can educate their donors and explain to them this is much safer than you writing down your credit card number and contact information on a piece of paper that is then floating off someplace. Whereas a credit card picture is not actually stored on the phone. We're actually just scanning the numbers and eliminating that time for you to have to manually punch in those 16 digits.
Awesome. That's a great question, and it's a security issue. Forgive me, I don't mean to monologue now, but it brings back this moment I had about 10 years ago. My mother was saying, no one will ever buy anything on the internet. It's not safe. You don't want to put your credit card number in your computer. And she had just finished ordering Chinese food on the phone. And I said, Mom, you just read your credit card number over the phone to a stranger. What are you talking about? And it suddenly clicked with her, and now she buys everything on Amazon. So anyway, do we have any more questions? We have time for 1 or 2 more questions over here in the back. Does your system integrate with Razor's Edge or any other systems?
Yes. Convio, Razor's Edge, any of the Blackbaud products, Salesforce. Those are CRMs. For those who don't know, these are the databases for managing your donors' information.
Great. One more question. Over here in the back.
I haven't seen anything that sort of focuses on the skills required for jobs before. Do you get companies to list the skills they're looking for, or how do you sort of decide what people should know?
Are you working with companies to get them to list skills that they're looking for?
So eventually that's the play. We're going to create a job board for companies to specifically say what they're looking to hire. Right now we created a big data solution to scrape across the web and understand exactly what skills are associated with each job role.
No? Right here.
How do you plan on getting back when they go to LinkedIn and those things? How do you plan on navigating those?
Do you have a scaling strategy right now?
So we have 2 different plays as to how we're doing that. First, we're partnering with universities to create a pilot to help their students understand how prepared they are for careers. So we're starting at Long Island University of Brooklyn to do that first. The second is that it's a play on the fact that no one in the space is articulating what do I need to know to get a specific job. So there's a very robust SEO strategy we're going about to answer that question and specifically hit different job roles and show people how to go about it.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much. That concludes our last question session. Jukay would like to say goodnight to you all, and we're going to be around for another 20, 30 minutes, and you can meet and mingle and maybe give some money to Dick and Jane through WeDidIt.
Great. So thanks, everyone, for coming tonight. Please give another round of applause for Tom and all the other presenters that came up here and demo tonight. Also want to thank Jolly McPhee and Internet Society for New York for doing the video, and thank you to our volunteers, without which this would not be possible. Dion, Brian Kill, Jennifer Vargas. Who else is here tonight? And if you're interested in being involved with Coalition for Queens and Queens Tech Meetup, please speak to one of us afterwards. Thanks also to Aaron for organizing a first grade Queens Tech meetup. Please give Aaron a round of applause. Yeah, thanks for coming and have a great night. Talk to some of the demoers afterwards. Have a beer and hang out. Thanks, everyone.